टॉपिक है अपना स्टैंडर्ड ऑडिटिंग। इसके लिए मैं सबसे पहले अपने चेयरमैन सर एंड सेक्रेटरी सर का मैं बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद देता हूं कि मुझे आज के इस टॉपिक के लिए मॉडरेटर बनाया, जिसके लिए अपने आज दो स्पीकर रहने वाले हैं। पहले फर्स्ट स्पीकर है सीए सुमित सर एंड सेकंड स्पीकर है सीए हर्षा मैम। तो सबसे पहले मैं सुमित सर का एक बार थोड़ा इंट्रो पार्ट आप सभी के बीच में रख देता हूँ। Sumit Datta is a chartered accountant having a rich experience of 15 years in the field of statutory audits, IFRS, and India's implementation. He is a member of ICI since 2003. At present, he is managing partner of DLS and Associate LLP. At DLS, he is responsible for expanding the firm base vertical wise and geographical wise and ensure equality assurance service to all clients. Prior to joining DLS, he worked with the PwC India 4 years and KPMG Bahrain 4 years in the audit and assurance vertical. After KPMG, he joined SICO Bahrain, one of the premier investment banks of GCC region, as head of compliance and MLRO. He is also certified anti-money laundering specialist from ACAMS Institute, USA. He is certified trainer from ICI Faculty Development Program for India's conversion in India. He also obtained diploma in information system audit and diploma in information and risk management from ICI. He did his graduation from Commerce College, Rajasthan University, and also possesses company secretary in qualification. He secured 25th rank all over India in CA intermediate exam in May 2001. He also served the management committee of Bahrain chapter of ICI for 3 years prior to moving to India. Yes, sir.
Thank you, C. Kalpit, for the warm introduction. And thank you, CA Anil Yadavji, for giving the opportunity to share views on such a most crucial topic which impacts all of us and which is mostly neglected by almost all of us. I'm trying to share the screen. Once it gets the screen, once you get the connectivity, people just confirm me once if you're able to see.
Yes, we are.
Okay, thank you. So now we'll discuss on audit quality control. Anything specific in this first slide you'd like to highlight? Anybody?
Audits और quality control में I think मेरे हिसाब से नहीं कुछ.
Sorry?
Men's ने जो shoes का
My wife, and she is also a chartered accountant. Immediately she texted that you did a blunder.
भैया voice नहीं आ रही.
I think just some. Is my voice audible, Anish?
Now audible.
So my wife is also watching this session and she is also chartered accountant. So immediately she messaged me that you did a blunder. The spelling of control is incorrect in this slide. And it is not, it is a human error. It is an intentional error. I put it specifically to put it. The point is we are in such a profession that even our small error cannot be taken lightly. Regulators are very hard on us. You cannot say it is just one error. When you are certifying anything, the trust is huge on you. And we all recall 1st July 2016, Honorable Prime Minister's speech. Among all other parts, the most important part he mentioned was a power of a CA signature is much more than the power of a prime minister, because public have a huge faith. The society has a trust on CA signature that if CA has signed it, at least he would have seen it. Blindly, we will rely on CA signature. And if we are not able to keep up that trust, the profession cannot survive. Profession will only survive because of you and me or all auditors. And if we goof up, profession will go for a downsized trend. Just to maintain profession, keep its glory, continue to maintain its glory, the institute has to ensure that our audit work, which is the main bread and butter for all professionals, should have a quality control. If we goof up here, nobody can save us. So just like if I eat a burger in McDonald's Gaurav Tower or a McDonald's in Vidyadhar Nagar, I am sure I will get the same quality both the places. That is the standard of quality. I will not doubt, and I will not ask whenever I'm entering into any of the McDonald's, I don't need to inquire about what is the quality. I know that they will maintain the best of standards. So quality control is the most important issue for any organization. So just to tell you that spelling mistake was not error. I have put the correct spelling mistake. And inputs, I will be presenting my views on audit quality control with inputs by my article, Srishti Jain. And I always thank the Institute for giving me opportunities. So because of that, I need to put my articles on work. At least they started reading. Because whenever you give any presentation, first you need to read, and then you learn a lot in between. I'm not sure audience learns or not, that is secondary, but at least as a speaker, you always learn at the expense of audience. Now, what is audit? And I'm sure we all know the word audit. Audit comes from the word auditory. In Latin term, it is audiere, to hear. And anybody who's from BSc or who has into medical background, they will understand there is a nerve in our ear, which is known as auditory nerve. ये मुझे भी कल जब मैंने research करा, then I have come to know that there is a nerve called auditory nerve, which is connected with our ear and directly connects to the brain. So whatever we hear and process from the auditory nerve. So what is audit in olden times? You hear from people records and make your opinions. Now oral has no meaning in our profession. Everything has to be documented. If it is not documented, work is not done. That's a basic plain meaning. You would have done very good audit, but it is not documented on paper, then as per institute or as per peer review, it is not done. So audit comes from this. And my partner always used to say, our audit is a profession which starts with a lie. And my question was, what lie we speak in audit? He said, the first lie you speak, then you go to client and say, I'm here to help you. So that is the biggest lie. You're not here to help him. You are there to audit him. And when you do audit, you find mistakes. And nobody likes finding mistakes of yours. Put yourself, if I come to audit your office as a peer review, you will not like me if I actually pinpoint your mistakes. So that's a human tendency. Then he says then the other lie is told by the client. And when the client says, I am happy to see you here. No client is happy to see auditors when you are actually grilling audit, but they always have the same, sir, we are happy. So this is a classic cartoon where the management gets hides. And whenever you do a sincere audits, actually client disappears. And so we were auditing on behalf of a bank, a surprise audit on behalf of a bank. So it was a special stock audit. So before going stock audit, before 1 hour, we need to tell the client that, yes, we are coming. So we called the client and said that we are coming from the bank. He said, okay, sir, yes, come in. We are all ready. The moment we reached to the office, they all closed the office and all vanished. And we surprised just 1 hour before we called. Then we called the client and say, sir, we got some personal tragedy and we all need to rush away to our other plant in 100 kilometers away from that Delhi. And say, where is the other plant? They are not telling any details, but just because they are afraid that whenever auditor comes, he might find something. So that's the terror of auditor, and it is still there. And whenever you go for audit in small Mufassal areas in towns. And this picture aptly depicts the life of an auditor. What is weekend? And I don't know, son, because I am an auditor and I can understand from last so many weeks, we all are continuously working. And today, despite we all thought that we will have a relaxing holiday season till 15th of January due to kite flying festival and all. And we all were hoping, and at least a lot many people were hoping that the date would have extended because the judgment of Gujarat High Court gave a moral booster to a lot of people, and a lot of people were relaxed on 11th. But then when the news came yesterday, finally, that it will not be extended, and I'm sure a lot of people would be back to grinding work. Now the problem is doing audit is something else, but ensuring that audit is documented is something else. And at a lot of times, and in mid-sized firms, bigger firms, their major time goes into documenting. And if your documentation is weak, nobody can save you in any of the court of law. So ultimate impact should be how you document. What is the current situation of audit profession? The current situation profession is moving wherever world over. It's not only in India. We are talking of world over. Wherever anything happens, the first question comes, auditor, what have he done? He should have seen that. And now the concept of class suits have started in India, where everywhere profession has been questioned. Enron is a classic example, and it is a classic example in one sense where entire firm wiped off. A big five, which was known as Arthur Andersen, it was one of the top firms. Among the big five, it was the best firm, the number one firm. One goof up in one audit, something happened in one audit, entire world branches got deleted. So it's not that you can do a small goof up in one location, other location will not be impacted. So audit has been now at a firing range from last so many years. And situation is also in India. Classic example of what happened in case of ILFS. More than 500 companies came into line. So many they're small auditors. Not all big fours were auditor of ILFS. There were 500 group companies. So there were small auditors also. So it does not matter whether you are from small firm or a big firm. If you are auditing a company which has a link with big firms, big companies, you need to have quality. Because ultimately when it goes to the court, the question is, did you check the basic standards? Now in India, peer reviews concept is there, and peer review always look for what are you doing in documentation. I'm not sure how many of you are aware or not. Earlier, we were of the understanding that peer review is only when you voluntarily want to get it done. But there is a mandatory peer review also from ICAI peer review board. Randomly, they select some firms every year, even without your choice. They come and review your documents. And if you are not having basic documentations, then it gives a negative rating. And so basic documentation is mandatory. We'll discover what is the basic documentation. Now, till few years back, it was only our institute affairs. You do whatever you want, you goof up. ICAI will take action in its disciplinary committee and then go to High Court if needed. But there were no external agencies involved. But now, government is taking a strong stand on audit quality, and they made a new position, NAFRA. A lot of people opposed NAFRA should not have come, and a lot of people gave representations that IAS officers will be sitting, they will not understand what is the position, they will not do a proper justice, but government did not listen, and now it is a reality. NAFRA is there, and now we all are governed by NAFRA regulations. You need to follow standards because NAFRA has overall power. Now, the biggest shift which has happened from last so many years, which only professionals can understand and general public cannot understand, the line between true and fair and true and correct is getting blurred. We know what is the difference between true and fair and true and correct. That's you and I know very well. But does the public knows it? The public expectation is not true and fair. Their expectation is true and correct. You cannot explain them that this is just two words, fair and correct, which is a huge difference in dictionary wise. But for them, true and fair means true and correct. So this is the biggest challenge on audit profession you need to ensure. Because it may happen certain point of time, they will say, if it is not true and correct, then what is the value of having true and fair? Then we don't need the certificate also. And remember, our profession survives on government authority. Put yourself a hand on your heart and say, tomorrow government says, okay, we do not want tax audit, we do not want companies act audit. We will merge all audits into one GST audit. Every audit will merge into one audit. And after that, if anybody voluntarily wants to get it audit done, you go and get it done. How many client will go for voluntary audit? Nobody will go for voluntary audit. We go for audits only because we know it is required. If it is not required, nobody will go for it. So audit is not considered where people will go and take voluntary efforts. So we need to put our efforts. So maintain the quality control, standards are required. And standards are required because standard will standardize our process. If you do not tell me what needs to be done, how needs to be done, what needs to be done can be at least taken from your common senses. But how it needs to be done and documented, I need to have a standard so that whenever any inquiry happens, I can say I followed a standard. So standard are like a double-edged sword. They can work in your favor, they can work against you. If you follow them properly, they will always work in your favor. But if you do not follow them, they will always work against you because this is the least you're expected. And the biggest challenge of our profession is we need to ensure there are two standards to be followed: auditing standards and accounting standards. Our baby is first auditing standards, but which is always considered as a step baby. We all are more focused on accounting standards, which is the main baby of client, because it is the client responsibility to follow accounting standards primarily. Secondary responsibility lies on me. Auditing standard is only and only my responsibility. Client is not supposed to follow auditing standards. Audit confirmation is your process. Client is least bothered. Even if he does not send, he is not at fault, you are at fault. So we need to ensure that we follow standards in letter and spirit. Standard always gives comfort to regulator. So the regulator says that, okay, the body has ICA body has issued some standards. Now we expect members to follow that. This even mere expectation is sufficient enough to ensure our profession is safeguarded. And world over, when world over the meets of professional bodies happens, they ensure how did your profession is ensuring that the quality of members is there. So India being the second largest accounting professional body, second largest after CPA. So they need to ensure that how are you ensuring the quality of the members? Because if quality of members is not protected, your work is not protected, how can global investors who invest in India rely on your financials? So standards are different, accounting standards are different, but if your auditing standards are not followed, there is no logic to rely on our accounting standards. So that is the reason your signature, your audit has importance. And your work will challenge based on the methodology of all audit procedures you mentioned. I do understand we all are not big firms. We all may not have all big listed clients. We may not have big clients having more than turnover of 100 crores or bigger companies. We may be all dealing in small companies, partnerships, HUFs, or sole proprietors, which are sole proprietors. Where there is no much processes and they are not formalized. But having said that, audit does not give an exception that if your client is sole proprietor or not organized sector, you do not follow these standards. Whether your client is big or small, prince or pauper, you need to follow these standards by fail. You have no choice. It is a huge responsibility on the auditor to prove that he was not professionally negligent. Ultimately, what is audit? It is your opinion. So there is a huge difference between audit and certificate. So report and certificate. So you are not giving a certificate, you are giving an opinion that you think it's true and fair. But before arriving that opinion, were you professionally, skeptically, you have ensured that all things are right? or there was something gross negligence. If something gross negligence, then you cannot say that you are given a true and fair. For example, stock statements. You are certifying an inventory. You're giving an opinion on a balance sheet. Inventory is there, and you just give a remark in an audit note or in a notes to accounts that inventory as count has not been done by us. We relied on the value given by management. Will that justify under court of law? Call need to be taken by you. Can you justify? And whenever there is a point of debate whether should it work or not, always try to put yourself into other shoes on the side of other table. If you think it makes sense, you can always win the argument. If you think it will not make sense, you can never win the argument. Just because you are from the auditor side, you cannot say inventory was very far away. It was COVID, so I cannot test the inventory, so I will rely. That does not work. If it is COVID, you cannot rely. There are certain other procedures to justify that inventory has been counted properly. It can be a rollback procedures. You can do inventory count today. So there's some examples which I'm saying where you need to prove that you are not negligent. You would have seen so many balance sheets which has a remark in your notes to account that debtors and creditor balances are subject to reconciliation. This is a general statement you would have seen in so many balance sheets, and I will not be shy to admit I also used to put this earlier. Last 2 years onwards, from that we stopped putting this in our balance sheet for a simple reason. One of the ROCs in Chennai issued a notice to an auditor and said that if you are writing that auditors, that the balance of debtors and creditors subject to reconciliation, that means you are not giving comfort on that. And if you're not giving comfort on that, you should have written an emphasis of matter on the audit opinion, on the audit report, on the front page of the audit report itself, that I am not taking control guarantee of, or I'm not giving comfort on debtors and creditors balances. So if I say subject to reconciliation, what does that mean? Either you write, okay, I have checked the reconciliations. So you're trying to push away the responsibility, but that does not work. So they levied a penalty of 50,000 rupees on the CF firm, saying that either you qualify that you cannot give an opinion based on as you do not receive balance confirmations, but you cannot give a blanket sweeping line that I'm relying based on management reconciliation. Because ultimately everything is given by management, so you don't need to write anything. This is all financials are given by management. So it is assumed that you're relying on their words. Ultimately, so we assume that nothing goes wrong. We always keep our fingers crossed that nothing go wrong. And I come from a background where I work with 2 Big Fours, and at least one Big Four has tasted the quality review very extensively in PwC. I was in that period when Satyam happened. Your work paper will only safeguard you, nobody else. I have seen, and when the client says, "Maine dekha hai, I have trust me." So we do not trust in audit. Documentation should be there, and big or small, your work paper will mention. And the biggest problem in our profession is, after 1 year, not even client will remember how did you arrive at certain numbers, and your staff keep changing. And audit is a profession where maximum turnover happens in audit firms, because staff keeps on moving to good opportunities, or they leave the cities. So after 2 years, if you call your ex-colleagues, how did you get this number? Nobody will be able to know. So your documentation will actually should be such a way that if after 10 years somebody asks you how this number was arrived, the number should tell. And lot many places, and because I am also an insolvency professional and registered valuer, we have seen when we are doing a valuation or insolvency consultancy of certain clients, when we ask the clients that give certain data, and now in case of insolvency, when the company is under insolvency or a trouble, company does not support the insolvency professional, management does not support. So how the IP can get a data? So IP sends a notice to auditor of that firm of that period, let's say March 19 financials. Auditor So IP will send a notice to auditor and say that now I am appointed a IP of this company. You give me audit backup data of these items. Though we understand audit documentation is a propriety property of auditor, but when the IP asks for information, you cannot say I do not have that data. So he's asking basic data of inventory details. You need to have that in your books. He asks a basic information on your list of datas. You need to have a list of data. If you are certifying a balance sheet and there the word datas is written, you need to have backup that number. How you would have arrived less than 6 months and more than 6 months? You cannot say, I don't have the list, it is with management. It is ultimately your responsibility. Those auditors who have not given the data, IPs have made a lot of complaints to ICAI for non-cooperation with insolvency professional. So we need to be very careful. We cannot say, and generally this is always an excuse that resources are limited. We are a small firm, or the fees is small, so we cannot spend so much time in auditing also and documentation also. This cannot be a defense in your working paper. You cannot say that since I'm not getting a good fees, so I will not do a good audit. That cannot work. So whatever fees you agreed, you should have been quite mindful when you're accepting the audit fees. That is most relevant when you are accepted any audit assignment. Irrespective of the fees, you need to deliver the quality, and that need to be maintained. And I do understand practically for a small firms it becomes difficult. So they make a pool of people in terms of after their certain assignments, because your assignments give you 60 days to do documentation. After filing, when the audit period gets over, let's say 15th of January, at least you have 60 months, 60 weeks, 60 days time to sort it out all the documentation issues, get letter of representation, engagement letters in place, in file, so that whenever an audit review happens, you are safeguarded. The biggest challenge we have in documentation is whatever is the minimum required, we don't have that. And if you don't have the minimum what is required, then it becomes very challenging. And because why we don't have minimum? Because we have seen from our training period itself, our principal would not have taken focus on documentation, so we also don't take. So the habit imbibes gradually. And we always think client kahan jayega, client to yahi hai, client will never go anywhere. So whenever I want, whenever needed, I can take it. But now times are changing fast. At times clients leave you for whatever reason. At times the staff of the client changes with whom you had a good equation. So if my CFO was a friend of mine and we have a good equation, once he changes the organization, he will not be able to give backdated papers, which I could always take whenever he was there on the chair. Now, come to the main topic now, after Gary setting the tone on the expectation. The first standard and the only standard on quality control is Standard on Quality Control SQC1. The name itself is so big that first of all I thought it's a paragraph, but that is actually the name of full standard. Quality control for firms that perform audit and reviews of historical financial information and other assurance and related service engagements. So it is almost covering technically anything under the sun you do under CA practice. Either you do a stat audit, you do internal audit, you do quarterly reviews, you do management reviews, you do GST audit, you do tax audits, any assurance engagements you do, any specific special engagements you do where you need to do whatever the client is asking you to do, fact finding assignments, any assignments you do, you need to follow the standards. So this standard applies on all engagement and all firms, where firms means sole proprietorship or a partnership or a LLP, it includes that, and irrespective of your size and nature. So here we do not have a standard that below 50 lakhs, if you're doing engagement, follow this less compliances. Whatever assignments you do, irrespective of this amount and nature and complexities, this standards is applicable to all of you. The key terms defined in this engagement are what do you mean by documentation? Documentation mean, and they have defined the record of work performed, result obtained, and conclusions and the practitioners reached, referred to as working papers. So we all understand it cannot be oral. You cannot keep a conversation with client on your audit, your mobile recorder. You could do a communication on mobile recorder and keep as a record. That might be a supportive evidence, but that cannot be a conclusive evidence. So anything, if not documented on paper, does not support the documentation standard as issued by ICAI. Globally, the same standard works what we are having in India. Globally, it is the same standard. You go anywhere in the world, when you're talking of auditing, standard have the same terminology and same language, because the concept of audit does not change irrespective of the geography you are working. If you are in India, you are Middle East, you are in America, the same language, same culture, same concept of audit works. Engagement quality control review, we have a concept of EQCR. That means the engagement is done by another partner and reviewed by another partner, because a simple fundamental of maker and checker concept goes that those ultimate maker is not able to find mistake. So we need a 4I principle, that somebody makes, somebody does an audit, and another senior or another equivalent peer reviews it, which is a mandatory practice in all listed companies. Wherever there are anyone who does listed engagements, if you do not do EQCR, it is not considered a proper assignment, and it falls deficiency in terms of quality control. And EQCR is always mandatory because as a main auditor, you might be busy or you might be focused on all areas. You may not have a bird's eye view because you're looking for a granular things in a ground level detail. The EQCR always look from the top eagle's view, bird's eye view. He always look on the key areas, and at times he is able to find out important things. And once your work is get reviewed by your peer, you get a comfort that you're not missing something. Because in listed companies or big assignments, you cannot goof up. And if something goes wrong, analysts and the regulators are quick to catch up. And if nowadays anything goes wrong, social media is so fast that everything goes viral. You cannot do undo. So this EQC, this quality control talks about two things. So first important point is leadership responsibilities for quality within the firm. The standard says within the firm somebody needs to take ownership, and generally it is the main partner of the firm who's a managing partner of the firm who need to ensure that the quality control need to be maintained. It is not necessary that it should be the only managing partner. Any other responsible person can be assigned with this responsibility. His job is to ensure that entire firm engagements. So there are two standards in audit, in the quality control. One standard SQC1, which we are discussing, it deals on the firm. How do a firm ensures that quality control is maintained on a firm level? It does not talk of audit specific matters. So it is not related how an audit should ensure the quality is maintained in that specific audit. That is not covered in the standard. For this particular topic of how you ensure quality is maintained in audit, you need to go to SA 220. So SA 220 is another auditing standard where they mention specifically how the audit should be ensured, that how the partner will ensure that while doing the audit, quality will be maintained. So in this specific case where you are considering on firm, you need to ensure who will take the responsibility, and because responsibility flows from the top. If the leader is not inclined towards quality, the junior will never be inclined. So it always works on the top. If the top management of the top leadership, the senior partner of the firm, or who's looking after the firm, if he's quality conscious, staff below will be quality conscious. His colleagues will be quality conscious. If he takes a lethargic approach, do you think if you are not sincere about your quality, your article will put much efforts on that? Answer is no. When an article knows that if my senior is not willing to ensure quality, why should I break my head? because he will do hard work and you will just ignore it. Quality has to be ensured. Ethical requirements have to be followed, and ethics is the most important thing in our profession. You cannot have a doubt in ethics. So somebody asked Narayan Murthy, whenever Narayan Murthy takes an interview of a key management persons, he asks one question to his key staff whom he's recruited: are you ethical? Yes or no? So this question, are you ethical? Yes or no, looks very straight, simple, but it is actually a very difficult question. So a lot of people say, I'm almost ethical, that most of the times I'm ethical, and which is a very honest statement. A lot of people will say that, okay, most of the times I'm ethical, and at very few exceptions, I may have taken an unethical approach. For example, you will not cheat, you will not fraud, but at times if you're caught on without helmet or driving without seat belt, you may try to bribe a traffic policeman to avoid. So you might give an example like this. Narayan Murthy always says, you cannot be slightly or mostly ethical. And he says, ethical is like being pregnant. You are either pregnant or you're not pregnant. There is not in between. So you are either ethical, you're either or not ethical. You cannot avoid whatever fits me good, I'm ethical. Whatever does not fit me, then I'll try to take another approach. So ethics is the most challenging issue. Our profession survives on ethics, and it is the glory of the profession that our senior ancestors have been lot of very few would have been a black sheep in our profession. Majority have been following ethics, and that is the only reason the profession is surviving. If all would have become a black sheep, profession would have been deleted in the history long back. Acceptance and continuance, generally in small firms, we do not do much check on acceptance, because in small firm, getting a client is a bigger challenge than thinking of should I accept it or not. Being from a small firm meeting practitioners, I do understand this issue, that if the standard says when you're accepting a client, check is it fit or not. So first of all, we'll say, let me survive first, because if the survival is not there of my firm, how do I follow the standards? But then you should not accept those clients which put you in danger. So I'll give a classic fact, true example. So 2 years back, when I started moved back to Jaipur and started a practice, one of my known friend referred that this is my uncle's client. You just take that client. And when you are entering to practice, you would not like to say no to any client. So I was very excited to take the client. But before meeting that, we did some Google search on that client, and we came to know that a case was going against some police station for fraud. They are working to some multi-level MLM activities where they have taken a lot of money from people and ran away in one of the cities, and now they are setting up in one of the cities in Rajasthan. They were willing to pay any fees to certify their financials, but the issue is, should you take the assignment and put a risk? Somebody will say, what is your harm? You just give an opinion. But then nowadays, on MLM and other companies, RBI ministries are very strict that they ask from auditors, know your customers. So if I would have said that, okay, I've done my know your customer compliances, then I would not have accepted. So acceptance, you need to be careful. Human resource, this every firm is struggling in human resource. We all struggle a lot, because there was a time when you have one vacancy of article, 10 would be at your office. But now it's otherwise. Now the situation has completely taken a U-turn. Now if you need 10 articles, you'll not even get one good article. So good article is the key, because having a bad article, having a good article, I'm sure practicing CS knows the difference. If you get a good article, your 3 years are sorted, because they actually they have the zeal to learn, because they need to grow in their career and they want to become future professionals. So they'll do a good work in your career, and 3 years is a good time. Anybody whom you train and work for 3 years. Engagement performance, generally we do not do engagement performance. That is, you do a work and then you take the feedback from the client. How did we work? I'm sure if you go and audit your client and say, how did I did a work, he will always say, बहुत अच्छा करा था. Because we have a problem, we don't give a proper feedback, because it might hurt you. So after this session, if I call and Anil, जी और चेयरमैन सर मेरा सेशन कैसा था, आई कैन बेट कितना ही मैंने खराब बोला, he will never say भैया खराब था, he will say नहीं नहीं भैया बहुत बढ़िया था, because because the problem with social. Anil ji, am I do you agree with this view?
No, आपका तो अच्छा है। बाकी ऑडिटिंग वाला जो आपका है व्यू वो तो ठीक है बिल्कुल हमेशा।
So feedback, but is this a right approach? It is not a right approach, because if I give a wrong feedback, I'm planning him to fail further. So if I do not give a proper feedback to my staff with the fear कि उसको बुरा लग जाएगा, because if I let's say I have an article and एक बार she did a wrong, so I thought अगर मैं इसको डांटूंगा तो रो देगी, तो इसको चलने देता हूँ, but then she will again continue the mistake. So you need to give a proper feedback, because if you don't speak to client honestly, sir मेरे से गलती क्या हुई, because हम audit किसके लिए कर रहे हैं, why are we doing audit? You're doing audit for a client, but मेरी audit से client को benefit ही नहीं मिल रहा, अगर सिर्फ मैं client ने जो data दिया वो sign करके दे रहा हूँ, that means am I adding a value? Answer is no, you're not adding a value. You are adding a value. So at times in big, and I'm not talking only big fours, I'm talking mid-sized firms also in Delhi, Bombay, where I have interactions in last 2-3 years. Yearly they do a call with client, and not the same partner does not do, another partner doesn't say that we did your audit, so we just want to improve our efficiency, that's something you think we are doing more. हो सकता है मैं उस एरिया पे जहां फोकस कर रहा हूं जहां क्लाइंट को परवाह ही नहीं है, बिकॉज ये मान के चलिए कोई सी भी कंपनी हो, अगर हम एग्जांपल देता हूं, कंपनी इज अ लाला कंपनी, तो सेठ जी को पता है मेरा पेन पॉइंट कहाँ है. Do you need to focus on salary? So when I was in one of the big fours, my partner used to say, never focus on salary much. क्योंकि अगर सैलरी में कुछ भी goof up होगा तो एम्प्लॉय आके चिल्लाएगा सबसे पहले, ऑडिट तो बाद में होगी, जेब में तो पैसा उसके जाना है ना, अगर उसको कम मिलेगी तो वो चिल्लाएगा. तो मैंने क्वेश्चन पूछा, सर ज्यादा चलेगी तो सेठ जी चिल्लाएंगे. Ultimately it will be check and balances are there in that, so you do not pay more attention on salary, focus on where the expenses are having without any supportings. यहाँ पे management का problem होगा. So you need to actually know from management, monitoring is needed all the time, you need to monitor your engagement. And the biggest problem happen in assignments, you relied on your team, आपने अपनी टीम को असाइनमेंट दे दिया कि एक महीने के बाद ऑडिट करके आना, एक महीने तक आपने उनसे कोई फॉलोअप नहीं लिया, you did not inquire what is the stage of the profession, what is the stage, what is the growth in the audit happening, और एक महीने बाद वो आके हाथ खड़े करते, सर मुझसे तो नहीं हुआ, मुझे समझ में नहीं आया. Then the deadline is tomorrow, what you will do? Then you can you say to the client, नहीं सर हमारा स्टाफ ने एक महीने में कुछ करा नहीं, तो अब मुझे एक महीना और चाहिए. You need to deliver. और जल्दी में गलती होती है, घाई में गलती होती है ना, those who into Marathi slang, जितना घाई करोगे उतना गलती होना ही होना है, and we all are humans, we are not gods that गलती पकड़ लेंगे हमेशा, something गलती छूट जाती है, and there is a Murphy's law, जब आप गलती छोड़ोगे वही गलती पकड़ में आती है, and it actually happens, and at least in my cases whenever I skip something, next year it again comes back some other way, और फिर client क्या बोलेगा, सर लास्ट ईयर तो आपने ये नहीं करा था, अब क्यों कर रहे हो? So that is a problem. So you need to be very careful how you monitor. Just a second. So generally in big firms, they make CEO responsible only for quality controls. If not CEO, then managing partners. You need to communicate to your staff that what is expected from you, that documentation is expected, and there is no delay in starting. Even if things are not set in your firm, at least start with basics. At least start with basics that at least all firm personals will at least get engagement letters, they'll at least read standards they are auditing. If you're having articles with you and they're doing an audit, if they're not reading standards, then they're just doing ticking. So they're not helping. And what is the objective of audit? Or the staff, they should also grow. So if I'm doing an audit, and if you have shares issued in between, so you need to calculate EPS. If your article, so you need to tell your article that you need to read in AS 33 or Ind AS 113 for equity shares, how the EPS will be calculated when shares are issued in between, so that he will read the standards and at least grow. Because never spoon feed, and that is the way your quality will be developed. Ethical requirement, we are there, we all know, we can have a whole day discussion on what is ethics. All said and done, ethics is as important for anything. You cannot take you cannot take a secondary approach on ethics. It has to be prime. Even if not 100%, at least 99.99% ethical should be there. Because when anything goes wrong, client will be the first one to put a blame on you that my auditor advised this. Though I understand lot many CAs do not advise any false thing, but whenever something moves up, client will always be the first one to put a blame on you. And because nobody like to take blame on us, that is a problem. Content acceptance, I discussed, we need to be careful when extend when we accept a new client. And generally, we always give a benefit of doubt to new clients because it's the first year. We think एक बार देख लेते हैं, next year अगर नहीं होगा तो छोड़ देंगे. Continuation, generally we try to keep clients who keep us happy, who pay fees on time. And after this COVID situation, I'm sure most of you have realized a client who does not pay on time is not a good client to keep in books. Last 3-4 years, if you have not collected his fees, and last 3 to 4 years, there was no COVID. I'm sure I know a lot many CAs. Last 3 years, they have not collected fees because client was good to them. And they thought, आज नहीं तो कल आ जाएगा पैसा, we will take. And now this March, almost 50% of such amount have been written off saying COVID hai. So COVID 4 साल 3 साल पहले नहीं था. Now client is not in a position to pay. So if you're not able, so you need to continue those clients whom you think are relevant, whom you think you'll be able to continue. So we discussed that your staff should be competent, capable, and that is most important. And capabilities can be developed. I do not expect all articles to be expert on day one, but what I expect would be that given the guidance, they should develop on that. If I do not tell them what to do, it is fault is at me. But if I tell them what to do and if they do not do, then fault is with them. But most of the cases, it is the other way around. We expect everything because you cannot expect a 18 or 19-year-old kid, a girl or a boy, to know much on audit. It is their first assignment, first January, first internship. So you need to be more lenient towards them. But on the other hand, they should grow. And if they can grow, ultimately audit is not done by a partner alone or a CA alone. Audit is done by a team of people. And if your team is strong, competent and capable, you can do a proper justice to the work. Engagement performance, we need to review the performance all the time. And most important, your auditing and accounting standards both need to be complied. So the onus is on you. We can always assure that at least client will also be careful of accounting standards, but auditing, he cannot be. Auditing is always your responsibility. Monitoring, I'll skip on certain points, which I think the time is getting shortened. Whatever theory, you can always get the slides from the website of ICA chapter, you can take it. So monitoring, we always need to be done, and monitoring is most important. If you do not take care of your quality control, nobody else can take. And if you do not review your work, nobody will review. And why documentation is important, that's on a lighter note, and how a CA considers a document. So one guy says, one of my girl is saying, I love you to me, what should I do? So another CA responds, first of all, take a screenshot, because documentation is zaruri. So that's on a lighter note. Documentation is very important. If you don't do a documentation properly, nobody can safeguard you. And I have been involved, I've seen one of the cases very closely, GTB and Global Trust Bank. It was only documentation that saved the auditor. And some other cases also. If your documentation is strong, you cannot, nobody can tell you. Another biggest issues we observed in documentation, that earlier was on a lighter note and this was on an extreme note. The biggest problem which is happening which I've observed, if you ask an article, why did you do this? His first response was, sir, last year की audit file में ऐसा ही था. अब last year की audit file ने गलती करी तो हम भी गलती करेंगे. Because we think कि last year तो सर ने देखा होगा तो सर ने ठीक करा होगा. अगर आपने last year कोई गलती छोड़ दी, that will become a benchmark. And it is not a fault of article, but any article needs to apply brains when you copy from last year. But you should not repeat a mistake of last year. And my uncle used to always say, making a mistake is not wrong, but repeating it is certainly wrong. So do not repeat your mistakes. Rectify your documentation every time. So the key issues you all need to take care. Earlier, your financials were not reviewed by many people, only management and regulatory authority. These are the two people who used to generally check. But now, just after coming the insolvency professional in too much in existence, now all assignments which are into insolvency, their IPs reviews. And the biggest issue noted by them and complained to ICAI was the related party disclosures are not made properly by the professionals. You cannot say that related party client ने नहीं बताया तो मैंने नहीं डाला. Then the question comes, did you ask the client? हाँ पूछा था. How did you ask? Phone पे पूछा था. So then it is not a proper asking. Even if you have asked, if you have not written either in your LOR or any inquiry, then let me know your related party disclosures. Onus on you that you have not asked. Inventory details should be there in your file. It is your working paper. If you do not have inventory details, that means how did you rely, how did you certify the number? You cannot just say management representation until you're qualifying. Your debtors list, loan list. We have seen 700 crore debtors. I personally have done a valuation of SI client, 700 crore debtors. No list available with the auditor. And when the list came, you'll be surprised. 5 years, no movement in any of the debtors. When there is no movement in any of the debtors in last 5 years or creditors, do you think they would be genuine? It's not a brainer. Everybody knows it's not a genuine. Forget there is no movement. I can still take an excuse and I can still rely. Okay, it's not moving. What should I do? Either I can make a provision or I can still say they will come. That's fine. But what will you do in a case where when you see the list of debtors and the list includes all private limited companies, and when you go to MC website and they shows that from 2014 onwards the company has been terminated, company has been defunct, company has been inactive. So a company which is inactive from last 5 years and you do not make a provision on that, it's a huge responsibility on an auditor. Because client will never like to make a provision, but ultimate responsibility is on auditor. So an auditor need to ensure that you ensure that these things are maintained. Trust in God, let all things be audited. In our profession, trust word should not be there. However good close friend you may be, however good your relationship be, paper should be complete. So trust factor has spoiled a lot of people because we rely on friends and client. We think more as a friend, but client is client. Always document everything what you need. Minimum is you need to have an engagement letter. That is minimum document you need. I will not push that get every year engagement letter because generally if you're a regular client, at least one engagement letter can work for many years because you can write one line that you will keep it continue if no significant terms changes except audit fees. Audit fees can be decided on email, that is also fine. But at least one engagement letter should be in your file, that is mandatory. Management representation letter is also important. And this should be for every year. Engagement letter can be only one for 5 years, it is fine. LOR cannot be one for 5 years. For each year, you need to have specific LOR mandatory, where you cover critical key aspects. How did estimates are worked? How did provisions arrived? How did cash in hand were taken, which you have not counted? So these basic activities should be done. Backup papers of key items. So it is always said that doing is not only important, showing how you did is also important. For example, now the IC requirement is you need to do CPRs mandatory 20 hours in a year. Now, how you do that is not important. You just log in on the webinar and switch off your video. That is still a compliance. You are attending, not attending, that is secondary aspect. But as a compliance part of, you are logged in. That is most important. And I do not blame anybody because we understand these hinde kar rahe hain, to kaise bhi karo. But ultimately you need to show. So backup papers of key items should be there in your balance sheet. because whenever any regulator asks, whenever any IP asks, whenever any professional institute body asks, you cannot say it is my property, I will not give you. You are bound to share and disclose. That is a huge challenge. And the most important, you need to have at least signed financials from the client. Whether it's a physically signed or a digitally signed, it has to be there. So there is a very interesting disciplinary committee case law on this. If anybody gets a time, you can search on ICA website on a disciplinary case study. So a classic thing happened here. There were two brothers. It's a partnership firm of two brothers. An audit is done by a senior firm. So one of the firm was auditing this partnership firm for so many years, and one of the brothers said, the younger brother said to the partner that my son wants to do articleship, and I mean, you should give a dummy to him. So, and the firm rejected that we cannot give dummy because we do not have space, and their firm do not wanted to give any dummy to any article. So they did not give dummy. The brother got very angry and agitated. He said, we are this auditor from last 10 years. How can he say no to me? मना कैसे कर दिया मुझे? So that his ego got absolutely hurt. Then it was a time where it was Diwali nearby where the tax audit date was there. So that brother was out of India for some reasons, and you need to file the returns. So for the firm, there was only one signing partner. Only one partner was there, that elder brother, and younger brother was not there. So elder brother said कि आप अभी sign करके file कर दो. The छोटा भाई जब आएगा बाद में, then I will get it signature and done. And generally 10 years when you are auditing a same client, you have a trust. So without getting second brother's signature, he filed a income tax return and other documents, and he issued audit report. Everything was there. After the brother came back to India from his overseas trip, he filed a complaint with ICI and tax authority that without my signature, the CA filed a report. It's a gross negligence misconduct. Now, what do you think would have been the fate of the case? The ICA would have left the case, or it would have been hard on the CA? It was very hard on the CA because you cannot say कि 10 साल से मैं इनका काम कर रहा था, इन्होंने genuine reason थे, ये बाहर गए हुए थे तो मैंने sign कर दिया. You cannot do that. नहीं है तो नहीं है. Then you could not have done that. Or you would have written a note that one of the partner has given a power of attorney to sign another partner. Something you should have safeguarded yourself. But just because we consider relationship at times more primary than our ethical standards, then it caused a lot of issue. Now the last changes, your documentation period is now 7 years. Thanks to ICA amendment, it was earlier 10 years globally. In ICA, they changed from 10 years to 7 years now. So at least from your date of audit report, you need to keep 7 years retention, either in hard copy or soft copy, whatever you do. And I'm sure there will not be any questions on audit because we all know audit very well. It is just it's my thoughts, and if you have any questions, then probably after the session I can take. And I still think, and I always say jokingly to my friends, I'm still searching for a guy who said कि एक बार तुम CA कर लो, फिर मजे ही मजे रहेंगे. Now I realized after CA it is much more laborious. Every weekends, every deadlines, and then comes documentation. So that is a sour pill, kadvi dawai hai, which we need to take, and slowly we need to improve. Rome was not built a day, so in one day you cannot be fully compliant with documentation, but at least you need to start taking on that. And nowadays the young generation, the young articles who are coming, the young professionals who are coming, they are much more used to documentation. They know things, what is important. So I'm sure if we follow the basic things, first of all, I think nothing goof up will happen. But if any audit gets goofed up, only your documentation will come to your safeguard. With this, I thank you for your patient hearing. And if you have any questions, probably we can take after another speaker sessions. Thank you, C. Anil Yadavji, and thank you, Kulprit. With this, I'm sharing my screen, stopping my sharing.
Thank you, sir. बहुत अच्छा था. हेलो, आवाज आ रही है सर?
हाँ, यस कल्पित, यस आ रही है, बिल्कुल आ रही है.
Now we have with us C. Harsha Ramnani ma'am. I would like to small introduction of Harsha Ramnani ma'am. C. Harsha Ramnani is a qualified chartered accountant, year 2010, and a fellow member of Institute of Chartered Accountant of India. Diploma in Information System Audit, Triple CA, and Commerce graduate from Kanodia College, Jaipur, with rank first. She is also registered valuer for securities and financial asset class and have a certification in forensic accounting and fraud detection and India's by ICI. Over 10 years of post-qualification, front-to-end experience and exposure as an auditing experience in various industries, including textile, real estates, automobiles, shipping, healthcare, banking, FMCG, education, and power sector industries. Her areas of expertise include statutory audits, operation audits, stock audits, performance audits, management audits, valuations, consultancy on protective trade and service law. Uh, Author of two technical guide on how to perform an internal audit in textile industry and technical guide on Rajasthan weight published by ICI. Authors various articles published on institute newsletters, the Chartered Accountant of India, New Delhi, and Jaipur Chartered Accountant of ICI Jaipur chapter, CIRC newsletter of ICI Central Region, and for the ICSI. A regular contributor of various write-ups on technical and non-technical topics for leading newspapers and tabloid. Generally, faculties and coordinator and convener, regular faculty and trainer, secretary of SB Research Foundation, Jaipur Trust, working a field of education and development, co-opted member of editorial committee of CIRC for the year 2018-19, co-opted member of executive committee of Tax Consultant Association for the term 2016-17, convener and co-convener in the various programs conducted by the Jaipur chapter of ICI, including National Conference since 2013. Nominated member of Youth Member Empowerment Committee and Women Member Empowered Committee of ICI. Empaneled member of the Career Counseling Committee of the ICI and mentor the fresh CS in the career counseling. मैम बहुत बड़ा था तो जल्दी बोलना पड़ा.
या
लोग बोर हो जाते ना फिर.
ना बहुत बहुत डिग्री है अर्चना मैम बात. थैंक यू सो मच अर्चना मैम.
इसको भी शॉर्ट में बोला मैंने.
Now it's on you, Arjun. Please take the class.
Thank you so much, Kalpit, for the nice introduction. Personally message kiya कि बस और रुक दो. Thank you so much, Anil sir and Kuldeep sir, for giving me this opportunity. So I think it's my first opportunity to address the members for one of the session. And today's my session is about SA 701, Key Audit Matters. So I will try to explain about the basic concepts of the key audit matters and some of the examples which we are seeing in the current 1920 financials of the listed entities as it is applicable from 2018. So, Sir Anil sir, if you permit me, shall I start with the session?
Yes, please.
Yeah. Thank you, sir. Thank you. So let me share my screen. Is it visible?
Yes.
You can try F5.
Yeah. Okay. Now it's, I think my full screen is visible.
Visible.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. So, key audit matters, communicating key audit matters. It's a comparatively new standard on auditing because it has been introduced in 2018 by ICAI. What are the key audit matters? Key audit matters are the matters, those matters where the auditor's professional judgment were of the most significance in the audit of the financial statement for the audit period. In a simple language, what are the key audit matters? These are the matters जो auditors thinks that are the most important have their significant professional judgment, have management significance judgment, now required to report, or we need to add in our audit report. Now it is a important part of our audit report format. In 1st April 2018, uh, we have these key audit matters have applicable for the listed entities and for the entity other entities where law permitted. Now auditor need to report the key audit matters in their audit report. What is the purpose of communicating key audit matters? The first purpose, it enhance the communicative value of the audit report. जो हम ऑडिट रिपोर्ट इशू कर रहे हैं उसकी कम्युनिकेटिव वैल्यू को एनहांस करता है बाय बेटर ट्रांसपेरेंसी अबाउट द ऑडिट वी हैव एग्जीक्यूटेड. Second is it offers additional information to the users about the financial statement. Key audit matters जिनको मैं आगे explain करूंगी what is the basic aspect of the key audit matters. It give the additional information to users apart from the other matters we were earlier reporting in our audit report. It gives the understanding those matters which in the professional judgment of the auditor were the critical importance in the audit of the financial statement. And the third one, it helps to understand the area of crucial management judgment. These three are the basic purpose. Because of this, the key audit matters has been introduced in the format of the audit report. Now, applicability of the key audit matters, as I have earlier mentioned, the key audit matters are applicable for the period beginning on or after 1st April 2019. It scars the new reporting requirement on the auditors of the listed entities, including listed entities outside India. So अगर कोई entity इंडिया के बाहर अपनी listed है और इंडिया में listed नहीं है उनकी जो entities हैं तो भी उनके ऊपर ये mandatory applicable है. And this standard is also applicable in the audit of unlisted entities in the situation where law and regulations required to communicate key audit matters. और जहाँ पे अगर specifically किसी law का required है तो वहाँ भी हमें इन key audit matters को audit report का part बनाना है. अब इसमें एक क्वेश्चन ये आ सकता है कि if अगर कोई कंपनी है जो लास्ट ईयर लिस्टिंग प्रोसेस के अंदर थी बट उनका प्रोसेस कंप्लीट नहीं हुआ तो ऑडिटर को की ऑडिट मैटर्स रिपोर्ट करना मैंडेटरी है या नहीं है. तो इट इज क्लेरिफाई बाय ICAI इन द FAQs दैट जब कंपनी का लिस्टिंग कंप्लीट हो जाएगा एंड कंपनी हैज अ लिस्टिंग in one of the exchange, after that auditor has a mandatory requirement to report the key audit matters. Now, how we can determine the key audit matters? There are 3 steps defined in standard of auditing SA 701. The first step is matter that communicated to those charged with governance. ऐसे significance matters जो हमने during the audit हमारे जो मैनेजमेंट है जो टॉप मैनेजमेंट है उनके साथ डिस्कस किए हैं. वी हैव अ इन लेंथ डिस्कशन विद द मैनेजमेंट. वो मैटर्स को हमें आइडेंटिफाई करना है. देन सेकेंड स्टेप इज मैटर दैट सिग्निफिकेंट ऑडिटर्स अटेंशन. फर्स्ट स्टेप के अंदर जो मैटर्स हमने आइडेंटिफाई किए थे उन मैटर्स में से ऐसे मैटर्स जिनके अंदर ऑडिटर अटेंशन इज अ सिग्निफिकेंट, ऑडिटर का प्रोफेशनल जजमेंट हैज अ सिग्निफिकेंट, उन मैटर्स को आइडेंटिफाई करना है. अब वो मैटर्स कौन कौन से हो सकते हैं? द वन कैन बी एरियाज ऑफ हायर रिस्क, असेस्ड रिस्क ऑफ मटेरियल मिसस्टेटमेंट. Second can be the significant auditor judgment relating to the areas in the financial statement involved significant management judgment. And third, any significant event or a transaction occurred during the audit period. तो ये कुछ एस्पेक्ट्स है जिनके बेसिस पे हम आइडेंटिफाई कर सकते हैं कि व्हाट आर द मैटर्स दैट रिक्वायर्ड सिग्निफिकेंट ऑडिटर्स अटेंशन. एंड देन थर्ड स्टेप इज आइडेंटिफाई द मैटर्स which as an auditor we want to present in our audit report or we want to report in our auditor reports. So these are the basic aspects or a basic principle that have been mentioned in SA 701. Other than that, एक कंफ्यूजन बहुत कॉमनली अभी आ रहा है कि कौन से ऐसे मैटर्स हैं जो की ऑडिट मैटर्स में जाएंगे और सेम इज कैन बी रिपोर्टेड एज ए एम्फेसिस ऑफ मैटर तो इंस्टीट्यूट ने उसके ऊपर भी अपनी गाइडेंस क्लियर की है. दे हैव इशूड द FAQs कि इन केस ऑफ if the matter is fundamentally users need the fundamental user understanding, or if there is any uncertainty related to any future outcome. Like बहुत सारे ऐसे केसेस होते हैं जहाँ पे कुछ लीगल केसेस के अंदर फ्यूचर आउटकम्स का अभी आइडेंटिफिकेशन नहीं होता एट द एंड ऑफ द ऑडिट पीरियड, और एनी सिग्निफिकेंट सब्सिक्वेंट इवेंट बिटवीन द डेट ऑफ फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट एंड डेट ऑफ द ऑडिटर्स रिपोर्ट. ऐसे मैटर्स को हमें एज ए एम्फेसिस ऑफ मैटर रिपोर्ट करना है. अदर देन दीज मैटर्स वो हम एज ए की ऑडिट मैटर रिपोर्ट कर सकते हैं. बट एक चीज़ हमें ध्यान रखनी है कि जो हमारे की ऑडिट मैटर्स है उन्हें हम एज ए EOM प्रेजेंट नहीं करें. की ऑडिट मैटर्स आर डिफरेंट फ्रॉम द एम्फेसिस ऑफ मैटर. सेकेंड कॉल इसमें आता है कि हाउ मेनी नंबर्स वी नीड टू रिपोर्ट एज ए की ऑडिट मैटर्स. सो देर इज नो स्पेसिफिक एनी थ्रेशोल्ड लिमिट regarding how much numbers or how many numbers of the key audit matters as an auditor we need to report in the audit report. अगर आपको लगता है there is only 1-2 matter that need to be a part of the audit report as a key audit matter, then you can report only 1 or 2. Or if you think there are a number of matters that has a significant auditor's attention, the number can be a 10, 20, whatever the number auditor thinks suitable, they can report in the audit report. So here I'll try to explain about the key audit matters by some of the examples we have in the recent listed audit companies balance sheet for financial year 1920. I have some examples here reported till the date. The first common key audit matter reported by some of the companies, majorly by the bank, are information technology and control impacting the financial reporting. आपने अगर अभी 1920 की जो भी बैंकिंग फाइनेंशियल्स इशू हुए हैं, एनुअल रिपोर्ट्स इशू हुई हैं, उनको अगर गो थ्रू किया होगा, यू हैव कॉमनली सीन दैट की ऑडिट मैटर, बिकॉज कंप्लीट बैंकिंग सिस्टम जो है इट्स डिपेंडेंट ऑन द मेजरली डिपेंडेंट ऑन द IT, because all banking systems worked on the IT. So हम एक example लेते हैं from the AU Small Finance Bank, how they have reported their key audit matter regarding IT systems and control. So first, as per the format or as per the guidance given by the SA 701, the format we need to follow for the key audit matter is like, first we need to give the headline. So AU Bank has given the headline as IT systems and controls. And then we need to give the explanation why this is the significant key audit matter. So they have explained that the reliability and security of the IT system plays a key role in the business operation of the bank. हम सभी को पता है कि banks का जो reliability and security of the IT system है, that is an important and key aspect for the business operation. Almost जो भी transaction है, process होते हैं daily basis पे, that requires the IT control to be robust. So for the auditor, it is important to ensure for the audit purpose that all the IT system running in the banking for the particular bank are adequate, working efficiently, and have effective IT control they have. So they have mentioned like these systems also play a key role in the financial accounting and the reporting process of bank. And users, how they उन्होंने अपने areas यहाँ mention किए, that our areas of the audit focus included user access management, developer access of the production environment, and changes in the IT environment. These were the major areas where auditor have given their focus. And then they mentioned that these are the keys to ensure IT dependent and application based control are operating effectively. So how this is how they have explained the importance why they have considered this as a key audit matter. Then the next para we need to give is how audit address the key audit matters. Auditor ने जिस particular key audit matter को select किया है, उन्होंने उसका audit कैसे address किया. what kind of the audit procedures they have performed to ensure themselves that the particular system is running properly, running effectively and efficiently. So they have given here the some of the steps they have done for the audit for the purpose of IT system. In first step, they have mentioned that they included the specialized IT auditor, because ये IT audit के बारे में है, IT controls के बारे में है, तो being a chartered accountant, probably we can't test on more efficient manner because we are not much expert as good as the IT auditors. So they have included the IT auditors team for the testing of the IT general controls. Then second step, they have mentioned that they have tested and designed the operating effectiveness of banking IT system access control. The third step, the third audit procedure they have performed is tested IT general controls that includes logical access, change management and aspects, and IT operational controls. And then later they have given the further audit procedure they have considered for the audit of the IT controls, that they have tested and designed the operating effectiveness, the automated controls, and where they got the deficiencies, where the deficiencies have been identified by them, they have additionally performed alternative procedures and tested the compensating control. So this is how they have completely explained about the audit, what kind of the audit procedures they have been performed for to address the particular key audit matter regarding IT audit and general controls. This is one basic key audit matter have been reported by many of the banks. The second common key audit matters have been reported by many of the companies, and I think it is a special key audit matters. Probably we will only see in 1920 balance sheet, not in 2021 or after 2021. Sorry, the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic. Because of the pandemic, this time auditor were not feasible, for the auditor it was not feasible to travel the client place or to sit at the client place for the longer period for the purpose of audit. And for the first time, many of the audit procedures or many of the audit working we have done digitally. So when we were working first time digitally, heavily on the digitally, बहुत ज़्यादा हम लोगों ने audit जो है online की है. So what kind of the additional audit procedures or what kind of the alternative audit procedures auditor have been performed for common key audit matters or a common areas of the balance sheet, like inventory verification or any other IT control testing or the any other documentation we were receiving on the online. So these were some of the companies have reported this key audit matter in their financials for 1920. One of the example is in LIC Housing Finance, it has mentioned like that due to national lockdown in India, the information necessary for the conducting the audit was provided by the company remotely through a secure connection, and a suitable IT system were made available to the us. मैंने ये एग्जाम्पल यहाँ पे क्यों लिया है, बिकॉज इट इज़ अ काइंड फाइनेंशियल फाइनेंस कंपनी ऑल्सो, जहाँ पे IT सिस्टम ऑलरेडी हमारे रोबस्ट होते हैं एंड दे हैव ऑल द डॉक्यूमेंटेशन डिजिटली ऑलरेडी. बट सम ऑफ द कंपनीज, बहुत सारी मैन्युफैक्चरिंग कंपनीज ऐसी थी जिनका IT सिस्टम पे डिपेंडेंसी कोविड से पहले इतना नहीं था. सो दैट कंपनी ऑल्सो नीड टू अपग्रेड देमसेल्फ. और now my voice is audible clearly, Ritesh?
It's clear.
Yeah, okay. Thank you. So for the first time, auditors got all the information, most of the information digitally, and they were not able to join the company for some of the common audit procedures like inventory verification. 31st March was the date where we need to attend the inventory physical verification for the companies we are doing audit. But because of audit, because of the travel restrictions constraint, the auditor were not able to travel for the physical verification exercise. So how the auditor have performed additional audit procedures, what kind of the additional audit procedures they have been performed, same has been reported in this key audit matter. How they reported this? Now they have addressed this key audit matter like we have reviewed the step taken by the various department of the company to ensure that the controls and operational were functionally effectively in the period of lockdown. Electronic evidence obtained with the financial information to ensure consistency and accuracy, because now अब हम जाके वहाँ पे physically नहीं check कर सकते, so we need a confirmation from the management side and need to perform the additional checks, additional substantive audit procedures for the financial data we have received on the digital mode, and they have obtained the management representation for the same. This is the one of the key audit matter paragraph, which I don't like personally. But the next one is my personal favorite. It's a revenue recognition, and most of the companies have reported this as a key audit matters, because as we all of know, revenue recognition is an important area or important matter that auditors need to do the an auditor that have a auditor's attention. So the escorts and the NOCIL Limited, I have reviewed the revenue recognition KM. Uh, how they reported this revenue recognition. This one is my personal favorite, because I think they have reported this key audit matters very properly as per the standard of auditing. First of all, they have mentioned the figures of the key audit matters they have selected for the reporting purpose. That what was the figure for the 31st March 2020 with a comparison to previous year. That in 31st March they have a aggregating revenue of that much amount with compared to previous year. Then what they did, they have explained their accounting policy, company's accounting policy regarding their revenue recognition. They have completely reproduced the accounting policy. After that, what they did, they identify the risk. Why they have included this as a key audit matter, उसका जो risk उसके साथ involved था, they identified that risk and mentioned here like revenue is recognized when the control of underlying goods is transferred to customer, and there may be a risk of revenue being overstated due to pressure from the management to achieve the performance targets at the reporting period end. It is a common tendency or common principle, जब year complete खत्म होने को आता है, साल खत्म होने को आता है, then we try to achieve our target, or sometimes we try to बैलेंस शीट के अंदर उसको सिर्फ एक मतलब मैनेजमेंट की हाउ जो हमारी अप टू 10th अप्रैल और 5th अप्रैल की सेल है, दैट कैन बी अ पार्ट ऑफ द 31st March एनी हाउ. So this is the risk they have identified. After identifying the risk, how they have addressed this audit as a key audit matter, they have included their complete procedures with the definition, with the headings that our procedure include accounting policy, assessing the company's revenue record policy, including those related to commission discount, rebates, written by comparing with applicable Ind AS. After that, they have explained about the test of controls they have performed for the revenue recognition audit, like evaluating the design and testing the operating effectiveness, control over the accuracy of commission, discount, incentives, and rebates, and the correct timing of revenue recognition. They have explained here. Then they have explained about the test of details. ये सारे प्रोसीजर्स बीइंग ए ऑडिटर हम सब अपने क्लाइंट्स के लिए करते हैं, सारे जितने भी ऑर्डर्स होते हैं, बट समटाइम्स हम उसे एक्सप्लेन नहीं कर पाते हैं कि व्हाट ये जो ऑडिट प्रोसीजर है, दिस ऑडिट प्रोसीजर कौन सी कैटेगरी के जो ऑडिट प्रोसीजर है वो कौन सी कैटेगरी में फॉल करता है. इट्स अ टेस्ट ऑफ कंट्रोल और अ टेस्ट ऑफ डिटेल, और वी आर परफॉर्मिंग एनी सब्सटेंसिव एनालिटिकल प्रोसीजर, बट दे हैव एक्सप्लेन्ड इट with headings. So in the test of details, they have mentioned that they verified the supporting documentation for determining the revenue was recognized in the correct accounting period. Here they have mentioned that what were the purpose of this audit procedure. Then they mentioned that comparing the commission discount, incentives, rebates with the prior year and where relevant performing further inquiries and testings, verifying the manual journals posted to revenue to identify the unusual and irregular items. Most of the companies have a automated systems जहाँ automated systems है revenue is booked automatically when जब भी उसका invoice generate होता है. जब हम sales का ledger check करें, if there are some journals entry passed, if there are some other entries manually passed, then auditor need to check what kind of the entries they have been passed. उसका क्या purpose है? So they have specifically mentioned here that they have their focus were for the manual journal entries to identify any unusual or irregular items in the revenue. Next, they mentioned that how they assess the recoverability of the trade receivables, जिसके अंदर उन्होंने how the assessment of their provisions impact on the initial recognition. They have mentioned the audit procedures. After that, they have mentioned about the substantive analytical procedures, that how the current year current year transactions, how the current year balances have been compared with the previous year, and are they comfortable with the analytical procedures they have been performed, or is there any irregularity or any further testing required in the same. So this is how they have explained about how they have checked the revenue recognition, how they ensure about the revenue recognition in the be reported in the financial statements. The next one is a very common, that is the valuation of inventory. Valuation of inventory is why it is an important key audit matter, because when you have a bank financing, when you have a financing for the working capital or any other financing, normally that financing is on the inventory. और जब अभी कारो which is again postponed for the next financial year, now it has been extended to, तो वहाँ पे भी अगर हम लोगों ने notice किया है कि now the ICAI, now the government needs more information from the auditor side regarding the inventory booking in financials. जहाँ हम पहले year end की inventory के लिए concern रहते थे, after the कारो applicability जो 2020 for which is postponed for the next year, monthly inventory reconciliations के ऊपर focus जाएगा. So these are some of the companies who have reported key audit matters for the valuation of inventory. Bata India, Resonance, ONGC. Example of Bata India. Bata India, we all know that it's a footwear manufacturing company and they have many stores all over India, many geographically spread across multiple locations. So their inventory is also maintained on very many areas. So this is why the auditor have been choose this as a key audit matter, that particular to net realizable value of the inventories of the finished goods. केवल एक स्पेसिफिक एनआरवी को उन्होंने एज ए की ऑडिट मैटर रिपोर्ट किया है, नॉट अ कंप्लीट वैल्यूएशन ऑफ इन्वेंट्री, बिकॉज जब हम वैल्यूएशन ऑफ इन्वेंट्री की बात करते हैं दैट इंक्लूड्स कॉस्ट और एनआरवी विच एवर इज लेस, बट हेयर ऑडिटर हैज सेलेक्टेड ओनली calculation or net realize, how the auditor has assurance that net realizable value of the inventory of the finished goods considered for the valuation is proper and accurate and adequate. So how they reported this? The major part of company's inventory comprises finished goods which are geographically spread across the multiple locations such as the retail stores, depots and factories. This is the reason why they have considered this as a key audit matter. These inventories are counted by the company on the cycle basis. Obviously multi locations है तो एक particular date के ऊपर उनका inventory physical verification possible नहीं है, counting जो है वो different cycle basis पे ही हो सकती है. And determination of NRV is made based on the various estimates. जो NRV है वो बहुत सारे estimates के ऊपर based है, including those related to obsolescence of slow moving and non moving inventory. अब यहाँ पे जब हम बात करें related to obsolescence of slow moving and non moving inventory, ये again it can depend on the geographical location. मे बी हो सकता है कुछ इनके जो पर्टिकुलर प्रोडक्ट्स हैं वो किसी एक लोकेशन के लिए अभी भी नॉर्मल सेलिंग आइटम हो, लेकिन कुछ लोकेशन के अंदर वो आउटडेटेड हो जाए. लाइक अगर हम रूरल एरिया में जाएंगे तो दे प्रेफर नॉर्मल फुटवेयर्स, एंड इफ वी गो फॉर द अर्बन एरियाज दे लाइक टू गो विद द फैशन ट्रेंड जो भी उस टाइम पे चल रहा है. तो वहाँ पे इन्वेंट्री जो है जल्दी आपकी नॉन मूविंग इन्वेंट्री में कन्वर्ट होती है, स्लो मूविंग में कन्वर्ट होती है, रादर देन रूरल एरिया में. Now, why the company has selected this? Because when we are assessing the NRV, it requires a significant degree of judgment, thereby required appropriate write down of the item. Company expectation for future sale volume, inventory liquidation plan, and future selling price less cost to sale. So these were the reasons they have considered this as a key audit matter. How the auditor has addressed this matter? The first step they have performed as an audit procedure that assess the appropriateness of the accounting policy for the inventory as per the relevant accounting standard. This is always the first step for the any of the audit. Then evaluated the design and implementation of key internal financial controls with respect to the determination of NRV for slow moving and non moving inventory with a low and negative gross margin. Then third step they have performed is on sample basis. They have checked the inventory aging report prepared by the company, that the appropriate age bracket has been selected by the system or the personnel who were working on the aging. Then they assessed the assumptions and the methodology adopted by the management for the retrospective review of written down of slow moving and non-moving inventory. And on last, they have assessed on the sample basis that NRV of slow moving and obsolete inventory or a inventory with low or negative gross margins calculated by the company, comparing the carrying value of the subsequent selling price and cost to subsequent to the year end. कि जो उन्होंने डिसाइड किया उसकी जो फर्दर सेल सब्सिक्वेंट पीरियड में हुई है उससे कंपेयर किया है उन्होंने. तो दैट वर सम ऑडिट प्रोसीजर्स दे हैव परफॉर्म टू ensure themselves about the NRV of inventory, finished goods inventory. Some other key audit matters that have been reported by commonly by the many companies, listed companies, were impairment assessment of carrying amount of property, plant and equipment and CWIP. बैलेंस शीट्स के अंदर एक कॉमन आइटम है प्रॉपर्टी प्लांट एंड इक्विपमेंट, एंड सिग्निफिकेंट आइटम होता है स्पेशली इन मैन्युफैक्चरिंग इंडस्ट्री बिकॉज दे हैव ए हैवी इन्वेस्टमेंट इन plants. So, and due to COVID too, this year the impairment assessment was important. So this was the a common key audit matter have been reported by many of the companies. The second one was the impairment of trade receivables, because now the reporting of key audit matter is only applicable for the listed companies, mandatory applicable. So ट्रेड रिसीवेबल जब हम इंडियस के अंदर आते हैं वी नीड टू चेक विद द ECL. So impairment of trade receivable is one of the aspect where auditor have report about the calculation of ECL and how they do the impairment testing of trade receivable. The third common key audit matter reported by the auditor is Ind AS 116 leases, that it was effective from 1st April 2019. This is the Ind AS which have been which is effective from 1st April 2019, and auditor have tested this and make the changes in the financial statement and reported this first time for the financials. So they have reported this as a key audit matters and mentioned about the audit procedures they have performed for this Ind AS. Fourth one, the disclosure of related party transaction. Again, the company जो big group companies जहाँ पे जो companies के पास subsidiaries हैं, company के associates हैं, there are a number of associates and the number of subsidiaries. This is the important key audit matters. Auditor have been reported both in standalone and consolidated balance sheet. The fifth, next one is uncertain tax position. This key audit matters mainly reported in the government companies or a PSUs, because PSUs में बहुत सारे taxes or litigations are that were pending from since many years. Auditors are started reporting them, as a key audit matters, that what kind of the audit procedures they have performed to ensure themselves that how much provision is required and the provision provided in books is adequate or not. The next one is impairment allowance of loans asset, specifically in banking and finance industry. As we all of know, for the banking industry, loans given to the borrower are their assets. So how it impairment allowance has been checked by the auditor, what kind of the audit procedures they have been followed, as selected by the key audit matters. The next one is valuation of investment. This is again in specifically in banking and finance industry, because these days banks are diversified, and with loan assets they have a significant item in their balance sheet as investments. So again, the auditor give emphasis on this investment portion, the balance sheet item, and uh, selected this as a key audit matter, and mentioned the audit procedures they have followed for the verification and the assurance for this item. Payroll processing and retirement benefit. This is bit uncommon, not selected by many of the auditors, but yes, selected by some of the auditors for reporting purpose as a key audit matters. The next one is fair valuation of derivative financial instrument, again specifically in banking industry. And non-performing advances and provision of advances is for the same as a banking loan assets. And the last one, impairment testing of the investment in subsidy. The companies, big group companies and big groups that have many of the subsidiaries and the associates, consider this as a one of the common key audit matters. So these are the some common key audit matters are reported in 1920 by many of the Indian auditors. And अगर हम बात करें what is the benefit, why this is included in the audit report as a important part of the audit report. So the benefit of key audit matters is, first benefit for us is whatever the matter we are mentioning as a key audit matter, management knows that we are going to write each and every audit procedure we are performing for their testing. So management is more concerned about that matters, and give us proper access to the documentation, and give proper attention to that matter. Second benefit is user of the that financial or a user of that audit report gives more detail about the company and get more detail about the important matters, and know about the audit procedures we are performed for the audit. So they get the more what brief about the particular item or a particular balance sheet item that we are reporting in the key audit matters. Third benefit is the for the practicing chartered accountant actually. अभी जब हम फर्स्ट सेशन सुमित भैया का चल रहा था, ही आस्क्ड कि जो इंटर्न्स होते हैं वी नीड टू explain, we need to give them the insight about how to do the audit or how to perform that the task we are assigning them. So जो हमने उन्हें explain किया है interns को, we are explaining about the task. This is the one aspect I think it's important, or maybe we get the hand holding support when we are giving any task to any intern regarding a specific matter or a specific area of the balance sheet. We can also tell them that please check the peer balance sheets, or please check the same industry balance sheets for the other companies, and see what other auditors have, what kind of the other audit procedures have been performed by the other auditors, जो कि हमने हमारे किसी प्लान के अंदर अगर इंक्लूड नहीं किए हैं, और वी आर फॉरगेटिंग टू इंक्लूड दैट प्लान. So this is the one more thing I think it's beneficial for us too, because जब मैं भी normally annual reports को read कर रही हूँ अभी, so I'm getting much insight about the industries, about the audit procedures, about the auditors function, what kind of the how they are functioning there. So this is one more benefit we are having with this key audit matter. And This is, I think, done from my side. Actually, I tried to explain this in a very, what can I say, बहुत छोटे से presentation के साथ, but try to explain this by examples. So if anyone has any query regarding the concept of the key audit matter or any of the example we have discussed right now, you can please share here. Or Sumit Bhaiya, if you want to share some insight about the matters or the reporting.
Harsha, thanks for the detailed presentation, and probably the most complex part on audit is your key audit matters. And earlier nobody used to write this because, you know, by writing this, there are two things. It's again, I'll say it's a double-edged sword.
Yeah.
If you write something as a key audit matters, then your work paper need to justify it's a key audit matters. Because if you do not document in your work,
it is a most important aspect to whatever the matter we are writing as a key audit matter. Being an auditor, we need to ensure that we have a sufficient documentation regarding the same.
And those who are actually listening, if you're this, normally we always thought that audit report is my property. Nobody can ever question my audit report. And Harsha is a testimony to that. We were doing one engagement together, and one of the client actually questioned the audit report, and he says, "You justify. How did you resolve my key audit matters?" And we were taken aback. We never thought any client will ever ask us that, how did you audited my key audit matters? And it's a documented email he sent that I need to justify my board. How did the auditors verify the key audit matters? And believe me, in my last 15, 17 years of experience, no client has ever asked us. उनके लिए audit report कोई मतलब नहीं होता था. बोला आपने जो करा, that's your problem. But first time we were shocked that client is even also asking now. So we asked client, how did you know this?
Now the readers are also.
So he said he was working in one of the MNC audit firms. There the client.
Hello.
Yeah, continue, Asha.
Yeah. No, these days users are also having the seeing the audit report very carefully, because around 10 to 15 days back, I have seen one tweet regarding the one of the the financial company KM, that they have reported KM for the financial loans impairment, and one person tagged Nirmala Sitharaman and the other financial members that why this audit procedures are considered as a educate and why the provision should not be provided against these assets, because the auditor have give consent that they have not provided any provision regarding these asset, and we have performed these audit procedures to ensure themselves or to assure themselves that this is correct. But some of that again reported not reported but tweet about that. So these are some more detailed about our audit. So yes, Sumit Bhaiya, you can add more. Hello.
There is one disciplinary committee going on a matter where there was a loan taken by a company. Company was not audit report till the board meeting. The settlement was not accepted by the bank. The company did not recorded the interest in the books of accounts and mention note that we do not intend to pay the interest scheme. Auditor also relied on that note, and we are talking of a listed company. It's not a private limited, a small firm. It's a listed company. Auditor relied on that note, and it was published. Analyst took that note and complained to ICAI that your recording of interest expense cannot be on the whims and fancies of the management. If the standard says you need to document, you need to document. Had the bank would have agreed for settlement, then you would take a call even till the date of audit report. But the bank did not agree till the date of audit report. So it becomes your responsibility to ensure either you qualify. See, we are, as an auditor, I cannot dictate client to do what not to do. But what I can do is in my audit report. If client is not willing to book audit interest expense, so that his interest P&L may not look bad, at least in my audit report, I can give a qualification. Had this client would have booked this interest, the loss would have been increased by this amount. But just you want to safeguard the client, And the biggest problem with this audit is, and this they always says, it's a very old Greek quote which says, you cannot bite the hand that feeds you. And that is where the ethical dilemma comes. My fees is being paid by a client. How can I be so harsh on my client in my audit report? So I need to take his comfort. And that is where the actual problem comes in, because you are not actually independent in full sense. Somewhere your independence is linked to the revenue. And because you think, if I try to become so harsh on him, next year he will change him. And this actually happens. And I'll be very honest in saying, we are dealing with one of the clients where there is a very big issue was there. The client literally threatened that if you do not drop this issue, we will change it. And we literally did not drop the issue because we can see the risk is there. And client literally changed us. So I can crib the standard follow kara to mar gaya. But if I would not have followed the standard, I'm sure 2-3 years later I would have actually in a soup. Because so you need to decide, take a benefit today or repent later, or follow the standards today and have a safe time later. Because these days the regulators and everyone is a strong watchdog. And after coming NFRA, we need to be more careful. See, when ICAI decisional committee sits, they have chartered accountants on the board. They actually understand the practical problems. So they will know, okay, balance confirmations nahi aate, certain other things to ensure. But when NAFRA board sits, they will not be having any leniency towards your non-compliances. For them, you are just a plaintiff. You did some mistake. They will not give you any practical expedients. So we need to be very careful now in documentation. And if you are not documented anything, means you are not done. That's as simple as it is goes. And that is the reason. And nowadays, I was talking to one of the auditors of Sahara company. So 2000, now the SFIO is calling them to give the records of 2003, 4, 5, 6. So now, as a layman, we take a plea. The auditing standard says keep for 7 years only. That is a standard requirement. Ab 7 saal ho gaye, so documents kho gaye. I am not responsible. But that does not work. The regulation says it is minimum 7 years. And wherever the regulation asks or wherever there is an inquiry going on, you need to keep the records for long. You cannot remove the records. I think you have one inquiry. Probably somebody wants to ask a question. He has raised hand. Either by mistake he raised hands, or genuinely won't have a query. So probably you can check. Kalpit, if you can check with anyone who has a query. I think Yogendra Jain has a. I'm not sure.
सर अनम्यूट का ऑप्शन दे तो दिया, वो अनम्यूट नहीं कर रहे हैं.
कई बार क्या होता है, ट्राई टू प्ले विद जूम आल्सो ना, नए देखते हैं तो हाथ रेज हैंड हो जाता है गलती से. मेरे से भी कई बार हो जाता था.
आई थिंक इट इज बाय मिस्टेक.
तो हाँ, तो फैकल्टी मुझसे पूछता था आपकी क्या क्वेरी है. कोई क्वेरी नहीं है, बट देन इसी आपका रेज हैंड तो पता नहीं चलता.
So if anyone has any query, or if Kalpit and Anil sir allow us, we can conclude the session. Yeah, if Anil sir or Kalpit can add some more.
We had, I was seeing this Ramavtar sir. If Ramavtar sir is there, probably his words of wisdom can enlighten us. कल्पित वोट ऑफ थैंक्स दे दो यार. कल्पित भी सोच के बैठा 12 बजे का वोट ऑफ थैंक्स. 2 घंटे मिलने चाहिए पूरे सीपीआर से.
Coincidentally, I concluded the session 10 minutes earlier.
अनिल जी वही चला दो तब तक आप मोमेंटो वाली पीपीटी स्लाइड.
सर अनिल सर भी नहीं है अभी।
अच्छा, अनिल जी भी नहीं है। नहीं, सब ना टैक्स के कल सब पतंग उड़ानी छोटी से कराते तो सब जल्दी चले गए।
नहीं वो एग्जिट हो गए जिससे हम वो इंस्टेंट में बात करते हैं।
मैं वही बोल रहा हूँ कि आज डेडलाइन बड़ी नहीं है ना, तो सबको काम करना है। कल्पित भी अभी ऑडिट से बीच ऑडिट में क्या है, ही वाज आल्सो इन ऑडिट समवेयर इन बिटवीन। आगे कल्पित आगे ऑडिट से आ गया। कल्पित एक 10 मिनट का वोट ऑफ थैंक्स देना है अभी आपको, क्योंकि हमें 1 बजे फिनिश करना है।
सर वो अनिल सर के लाइट का इशू हो गया, वो लाइट चली गई।
और अगर नहीं बोल सके हो तो साइन लैंग्वेज में देना पड़ेगा, because Kalpit is in a remote location, so that's why he's having network issue at times. Just before Kalpit says for in center of excellence within very shortly a good audit quality center is getting prepared. So they'll be having one of the best infrastructure of all materials on audit and any literature. I was under the impression that it should have been completed in February. That's what I understand. It will be inaugurated soon. So that will be a good resource for those who need have good and it will be all virtual. So it will be a good resource center for all of us. अनिल जी मीटिंग क्लोज कर सकते हैं, कोई दिक्कत नहीं है।
सर वो कल्पित आ रहा था।
कल्पित आई थिंक कल्पित की वॉइस का इशू हो रहा है आई थिंक। कल्पित वॉइस इशू हो रहा है तो कोई दिक्कत नहीं, आप तो अंगूठा दिखा दो हमें तो चलेगा, थम्स अप में हो जाएगा बस। ठीक है, हाँ ठीक है, देन इट्स फाइन, नो इश्यूज, आई कैन अंडरस्टैंड। So I think we can close the session. Thank you Kalpit and thank you Chairman and Jaipur branch for giving opportunities to me and Harsha. So we'll connect shortly. Thank you.